Being just a kid from Maine, people would just shoot me down.
That told me I would never be able to make it to the next level.
They say success is the best revenge. Older than Dallas, I'm proving them wrong. Back with the classic, I know it's been long. That they was missing me while I was gone.
Flying flag. Are you serious?
This is something that I've been dreaming about since I was a little kid. That dream just stuck in my head. I just got to keep working.
Smith and Scale still here with you, and fine line between a reset and a rebuild, and the Mavs are hoping Cooper Flagg has them on the right side of that dichotomy. The young buck was introduced as the #1 overall pick in the Dallas market and recognized the blessing of not only his talents earning him the top pick off the board status, but also the fact that he isn't expected to be some savior. Granted, there's a little more to his arrival given who was jettisoned prior to Cooper getting drafted, but we ain't got to talk about all that. As Anscape senior writer David Dennis Jr. joins us now. Didi, Dallas got their guy, and you see Cooper Flagg. How does he fit into this roster construction and rotation going forward?
Yeah, this is one of the great situations for a rookie, especially a potentially great player to enter into the league, especially how seamless this is going to be on the defensive end for Cooper Flagg. That is one of his great strengths, about a block and a half and a steal and a half at Duke, entering into a team that has P.J. Washington, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, and Marshall. Those guys are going to be defensively lockstep pretty much immediately and hard for teams to score on. Now, on the other side of the ball, what I'm interested in is a little bit of this conversation about Cooper Flagg handling the ball some, running point guard and running that offense. I want to see what that looks like, because this team can really be competitive. I don't think that they are going to be a contender in the West just yet until Kyrie Irving is healthy, maybe the year after that. But they're going to build a foundation for a team that is going to be tough to deal with in the future.
But to go back to where you started, that defensive versatility is what made him so appealing in this 2025 draft class, wound up setting him apart as the #1 overall pick. Now, David, just because the offseason has begun, it just means that transaction season is upon us. When you look at it starting on Monday, what is one thing you'd like to see happen on that front?
I want to see, by the end of this offseason, I want to see Giannis Antetokounmpo in a competitive situation, which means pretty much that Milwaukee has to decide what they're going to do with this dude going forward. And that answer cannot be sitting pat. They have to either do it the best they can to build a competitive team around him with the limited resources they have and be creative in that trade market and that free agent market, or they have to send him somewhere where he could really be vying for a championship. Now, we don't know what Giannis really wants to do quite yet. He has an eye on the Bucks situation, but it would be a disservice to him as, at worst, the third best player in the league, putting up 32, 12, and 6 to not be competitive for a championship pretty much every year for the rest of his career, whether that's Milwaukee or somewhere else. Something has to be done and decided in the next few weeks.
Yeah, he's under contract until the 2026-27 season with a $62.8 million player option for 27-28. Appreciate you, Double D. Now, as everyone else awaits word on what free agency has in store, Naz Reid gets to kick back and wait a little bit. According to Shams, the Minnesota center intends to sign a 5-year, $125 million deal to remain with the Timberwolves, and it'll have a player option in 2029. The former Sixth Man of the Year had quite a market, but opted to continue being a part of that core group in many.